You're not alone if you're broke and struggling financially. Many Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, if they're lucky enough to have one. And in case you missed it, here's something to feel glum about. 69% of Americans have less than $1,000 in savings. That's according to a survey released by Go Banking Rates in 2020, which reveals that just 31% of Americans have enough cash on hand to cover 6 months' worth of expenses. While there are plenty of reasons for these dismal numbers, one standout is particularly important. The majority of Americans don't even know how much money they spend each month. In fact, 62% say they don't keep close track of their monthly spending habits. And another 30% admit they don't know how much they spend each month but wish they did. So what does it mean to be broke in America? What are the struggles of an average American from gaining financial security? Here are some reasons why most people are broke. Reason number 1. They don't have a plan in case of emergencies. Emergencies can happen anytime, and they can strike without warning. A lot of people don't realize that emergencies are actually a very common occurrence. One study found that only 28% of Americans could cover an unexpected $500 expense without borrowing money or selling something. That's why it's important to build up your emergency fund. The best way to do that is by setting aside some cash every month in a dedicated savings account until you have enough to handle 3 months' worth of expenses. This will help you avoid getting into debt if something happens, like if you lose your job or get sick. You'll be glad you did when one day you wake up with no electricity, but plenty of food in your fridge because you prepared for it. It's never too late to start building up your emergency fund. Start small. Aim for putting away just $10 per week at first. As you begin saving more, try increasing your contributions over time so that you're always adding new funds each month as well as regularly contributing to what you've already saved. And even though saving isn't necessarily fun, make sure to keep it simple. That means keeping track of how much you're saving on paper instead of using fancy apps or complicated spreadsheets. Reason number 2. They don't have a clear financial goals. Although saving money is important for any goal, it's especially crucial for financial goals such as retirement or buying a home. Having clear financial goals can help people save more efficiently because they'll be investing their funds toward those specific goals and will know what percentage of their money should go into each category. It also helps them avoid frivolous spending on things that don't fall into their set financial goals. A good way to figure out your own financial goals is to make a list of everything you want to do with your life and then prioritize which ones are most important. Once you've done that, you can start figuring out how much money you need to save in order to achieve those goals. That will give you an idea of where to put your money. Reason number 3. They don't budget their money. One of the most common reasons for people going broke is that they don't have a budget. A lot of people live paycheck to paycheck and never get ahead because they are spending more than they are making. You need to figure out your monthly income and then take away your expenses. Then you must put what's left over into savings, investments, and debt payments. If you don't have anything left over, it means you're spending too much money. You should start by cutting back on all unnecessary expenses like eating out or buying new clothes when there are clothes in your closet that can be worn again. If there is still nothing left over after cutting back on all of those unnecessary expenses, then it might be time to look at ways to increase your income, such as getting a second job or finding freelance work online through websites like Upwork and Fiverr. Reason number 4. They have bad debt. At one point or another, most of us will have debt. Whether it's from credit cards, a mortgage, or student loans, debt is almost inevitable for most Americans. For those who struggle to stay on top of their finances, however, that pile of bills can become overwhelming and difficult to manage, which can lead to more problems down the road. According to a study conducted by NerdWallet, 31% of Americans are overwhelmed by their personal debts and more than half are making minimum payments on balances they accrued 3 years ago or longer. If you want to avoid falling into bad debt, consider getting organized and paying off your existing debts as quickly as possible. That way, you won't be tempted to take out new loans in order to pay off old ones. Reason number 5. They have expensive habits. Those who are broke have a tendency to spend money on one thing. Themselves. They might buy expensive clothes, or go out to coffee, or go shopping without any real reason other than having a few dollars in their pocket. When you want to know why people are broke, look at how they spend their money. Chances are it goes toward one specific thing: themselves. Spending more than we make is how most of us get into debt and stay there. So if you want to avoid getting broke, try spending less than you make. It's really that simple. If you're living paycheck to paycheck right now, try tracking your expenses for 2 weeks before making any changes, and then use that information to help inform your decisions going forward. You may be surprised by what kind of things cost so much money. You might also consider using an app like Mint or YNAB to help keep track of your spending habits and identify areas where you could save money. Reason number 6. They don't think about the future. Even if you're living paycheck to paycheck, it's important to try and plan ahead and save money. If you want to retire comfortably, for example, start socking away savings early in your career. And even if you don't have a lot of money now, investing even small amounts can add up. Even as little as $20 per month invested at a rate of 8% over 20 years will yield $50,000 when that investment matures. It may not seem like much now, but it's always good to think about your future self and not get into debt that could set you back financially later on in life. You never know what's going to happen down the road. You might lose your job, or be involved in an accident and need medical treatment that costs more than you expected. Having some cash tucked away for emergencies is crucial. Don't let yourself get caught off guard. Start saving today. Reason number 7. They spend money to impress people. If you spend money on things to impress other people, then you are a prime candidate for being broke. Don't buy things just because it makes you look cool or have more status. Think about what you really need to be happy and put your money there instead of wasting it on material goods that won't matter in a year from now. Having lots of friends is great, but having true friends will always mean more than any kind of material wealth can buy. The truth is, most people only care about their own problems anyway, so why bother with impressing them? Focus on yourself and you'll see a huge difference in how much better off you are financially. It may seem like going out of your way to help others would make you happier, but studies show that helping others actually hurt our chances at happiness by putting us into a victim mentality where we feel obligated to take care of everyone else before ourselves. That doesn't mean helping others isn't important. It's just not as important as taking care of yourself first so that you can continue helping others without draining yourself mentally and physically. And reason number 8. They don't pay themselves first. If you want to live a healthy lifestyle, then you've got to make sure that you're taking care of yourself first. Just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should be doing it. And with your money, it's no different. The last thing that people want to do is put their savings above all else. In fact, almost 70% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. And while not all of these people are struggling to get by, many feel as though they aren't making ends meet. Now is not a time for sacrifice. It's time for action. Instead of dipping into your future earnings, put 10% towards your retirement account each month and watch how things change over time. You'll thank yourself later. Being smart with your money is one of the best ways to improve your financial situation. But it's hard to be smart when you don't know what's going on with your finances. By stepping back and taking a look at where your money goes, you can come up with a strategy for saving more and cutting down on your spending. It may seem difficult at first, but once you get into the habit of being smart about money, you'll see that it's not so hard after all. Well, that's it for today's video. Please share your thoughts in the comments section. We'd love to hear them. And as always guys, don't forget to subscribe and give us a huge thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the next one.